Hello, folks. Welcome to Stay Well with Dr. Zorba Pastor.
Hey, that's me.
I'm Carl Christensen, and I'm sitting across the desk from the one and only Dr. Zorba Pastor.
There you go.
He's right there. He's a family doc, a father of four, and a former host of his national public radio show. He also has a world-class mustache. Before they were cool again, right? All right, we're glad you're with us on Zorba's
They were
brand
cool
new
before,
podcast.
they are cool again.
That's right. This is Zorba's brand new podcast, which is a joyful take on living well. Today, we're going to take a listener phone call. We'll talk a little bit about vitamin D. Zorba will debunk some medical quackery, and he'll tell us about his recent dinner party where he made his famous paella.
Fabulous.
We're also going to go behind the curtain and talk about fake Viagra. Stick around for that one. That
You
should
bet.
be interesting.
You bet.
Zorba, why are we doing this Why are you doing this podcast?
I'm doing this podcast because you need good information. There's so much out there in the web. There's so much out there that's fake. There's so much out there that's real that you don't know which way to go. And my goal is to take the 35 years that I've done stuff on public radio, on television, in newspapers, and curate it so that you know what's good and what isn't good so you can make the right decision for you and your family.
We have a phone number that you can call if you have a question for Dr. Zorba. It's 608-492-9292.
That's right. It's 608-492-9292. And by the way, our website is drzorba.org. That's Dr. Zorba, spelled out, DoctorZorba.org, but you know how to spell org.
Yeah, hopefully you do. Yeah. All right, let's go to one of those phone calls now. This is a listener from right here where we are in Madison, Wisconsin. Hi.
Hi, Dr. Zorba.
Oh, good to talk to you. How can we help?
Yes, well, I'm a relatively healthy 44-year-old woman who has recently experienced some pain. It kind of started after a couple of poor nights of sleep, and I was noticing pain from my shoulder. Well, it was like neck into shoulder, and it was radiating down into like my mid bicep.
Did it wake you up? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Or woke you up?
It was keeping me up. But things went kind of from bad to worse when I was at a carnival with my daughter, and I do these, with hesitation, but I always cave. She said, "Mommy, will you go on the Tilt-a-Whirl with me?" And I,
of course, you always cave. Of course, I remember Tilt-a-Whirl when I was a kid. It was like my favorite thing. And you go, "Whoa," and then you go even faster. So you caved in and went with your daughter on the Tilt-a-Whirl. Even though you had some shoulder and neck pain.
Neck pain. It was so dumb. But anyway, so I got on, and like right away, I think the first little rotation, I felt it just clamped up. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So I got off that thing dizzy and it was a nightmare. I was just like in so much pain.
Right.
The day ended up well. My daughter ended up, going on to win a goldfish. So it was all fun for her.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bonus.
But for me, I got
free fish.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. She got the goldfish. You got the pain. That's right. She got the gold. You got the pain.
There's a song in there
so
somewhere.
What have you been doing about it? Have you been doing anything, exercises? Tell me a little bit about what you've done.
I went right away. I booked an appointment for acupuncture, which I had done. Yeah, I had done that during my pregnancy, and I've done it kind of intermittently throughout my life, and it's always been helpful.
Sure.
So I went to a new acupuncturist for this pain in my neck and shoulder. And right away, because this was my first intake with her, she kind of went through my history. And I mentioned to her that, I also suffer from a torn ACL and torn meniscus, which I'm eventually going to have fixed.
So let me ask you. So you're an athlete. That's what you would call yourself, right? You're athletic.
Yeah.
You're athletic.
Yes. I do partake. But I'm getting to that point where I think, my body parts they're worn out. They're all worn out. And
let me tell you something. You're in your 40s. I'm in my 70s. Worn out is a different kind of a thing in your 40s.
Perspective thing.
And your 70s. Please. Yeah. So how's your pain now? Tell me about it.
Well, the acupuncture I found incredibly helpful.
Good.
But what was interesting with the actual treatment that I got is she said, "Oh, the shoulder pain is probably," she said, it's connected to your knee. The lines are so
Sure,
they
the
cross
chi
and this
lines,
and that.
the lines of acupuncture.
Yeah, which I didn't even think about. Like I wasn't even considering that as like, a possibility. And so she treated all of the areas, not just my neck and shoulder for the immediate pain, but she also did a lot of work on my knee to help with this. So I was kind of interested in that. And then the other thing that she did to help was cupping, which I hadn't had that done before.
Right. And that's become more and more common. Acupuncturists, chiropractic, and doctors of physical therapy also do cupping all around medicine. It's an old folk remedy that people can find very, very useful. Yeah.
Sure.
Did you do the cupping?
I did do the cupping, and I got home and, the same, my daughter looked at me and she said it looked like I got attacked by an alien, because I got all the marks on my neck and back and everything. But I was interested in the fact that she said this was, I've heard the song, like the knee bone's connected to the leg bone, but I don't really know it so much to be like the neck bone is connected to the knee bone, so there's like that crossover.
The issue is, first of all, acupuncture is a different way of looking at health and wellness for your body, and especially pain. And, we in allopathic medicine, sort of standard Western medicine, we don't really understand acupuncture, but we do know that for a lot of people, acupuncture works. I mean, it uses a different system. So how it's connected, it's very difficult to say, but it's probably connected neurologically somewhere in our brain, maybe embryologically of how we developed, and the Chinese have discovered this really through hit and miss, and how basically acupuncture developed, in a different way. And the real thing is, for this neck pain, if it still bothers you, is number one, if the acupuncture works, you want to do certainly 3 to 5 sessions. I think that really, you can tell if it works. Number two, range of motion activities. What I would do is you do range of motion, go to YouTube, look up Bob and Brad. I really like them. They're really good. They're physical therapists out of Wisconsin. And look up neck exercises. You do it in the shower in the morning, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening can make a difference. And if you just do that on a regular basis, that may really help. And then the final suggestion is, next time you go with your daughter to a carnival and she says, I want to go on the Tilt-a-Whirl, you say, honey, you go with somebody else. I'm out of here.
How about your dad?
That's perfect. You got it. You got it. So thanks so much for your call. Thank you.
I appreciate your help.
I hope that helps.
If I may just also say really quickly that I am just so excited that you guys are doing this podcast. I've been a listener on WPR for years, and I'm just thrilled that you guys are now, launching a podcast.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you. This is our way of continuing the work that we've done over the years to help people stay well and to give people good information so they can stay well and make good decisions for themselves because they've got the information. So thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Well, it's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for that call. And listeners, you can call the show anytime. 608-492-9292. That's 608-492-9292. Do you just keep dialing 92 until it starts ringing?
Forever,
right? Yeah.
Forever, as it goes down the string. You got it.
Call us anytime. You can leave us a voicemail too, and we might use it on the show, and Dr. Zorba might answer your question that way.
Absolutely. I love answering questions. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. He's also here to talk about healthy living. Let's do our healthy living topic. Vitamin D, Zorba.
Right, vitamin D. So vitamin D is really interesting. So if you wanted to get enough vitamin D, Carl, let's say it's January, going outside, how much sun exposure do you think you'd need?
I'm not getting much in January.
You're not getting much in January. You would have to go outside, strip naked, and stand in the sun for 30 minutes. So who's going to do that?
Are you asking me to do that? I'll do it.
We call that dumb and stupid. Now, once vitamin D was added to milk, it changed it. So we no longer have rickets, in our country. But rickets are not the only thing. There are a lot of people who think vitamin D, and I'm one of those people, is important for health and wellness. And so when you buy vitamin D, you want to to buy vitamin D3. That's basically most of the stuff that's on the market.
Okay.
Vitamin D3, 5,000 units, really cheap, really inexpensive to get that. D2 is found primarily in plants and fungi and yeast, and that's the stuff that's actually added to fortified cereal, to flour and cereals the kids eat in the morning. But D3 is the stuff that really is synthesized. That's what we actually synthesize when we're outside. So vitamin D3, I recommend a minimum of 2,000 units. Some people want to take 5,000 units, no problem. If you're going to a multivitamin, it doesn't have enough D3. And you've got to have this more D3. And I think especially in northern climates, we live in Wisconsin, it's a northern climate, you're not going outside very much. I think it's important. I would take it every single day. I would do it every single day. Just put it in a small little capsule. It's really tiny. It's not like those big vitamin capsules, which are hard to swallow.
Those horse pills?
Those horse pills. This is like a tiny little pill. Vitamin D3 for you every day, 2,000 to 5,000 units. Cheap, inexpensive. Get it.
All right, Zorba. Throughout the history of medicine, we've seen countless contraptions and elixirs claiming to cure ailments and professing miraculous health benefits. Still do, actually.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's wade into the murky past of such falsities and medical quackery in the segment we're calling Quack Tales.
Quack Tales. Ooh.
You like that one?
I love it. I love it.
All right, we're going to go way back here now, way back into history. Tell us about Pliny the Elder.
You may have heard of Pliny the Elder.
I've heard of the beer
in class.
There's a beer called Pliny the Elder.
Yeah. Well, it's not
there's always
the same
a beer
thing.
for
But
it, right?
you probably fell asleep in the class where they were discussing Pliny
much
the
beer.
Elder.
Yeah.
I know you're Carl. You weren't actually up to the snuff at that time. But
Nope.
anyone who's studied Roman history, and that's not a lot of us, have at least heard of Pliny the Elder. He had lots of cures, and sometimes we just kind of discuss these cures because they're kind of disgusting. Now, these are not modern cures. They're ancient cures. Cures for a stiff neck. Really, cures for a stiff neck. Take the urine of a she-goat, inject it into the ears. That might be useful. Or a dung of animals mixed with herbs and spices. God, that would be just disgusting.
Okay.
How about a cure for joint pain? Try bathing in the urine of a person who has lived on a cabbage diet.
Now, this is all from one of his encyclopedias, right?
He did
These
a
are
lot
all-
of stuff. He
yeah.
did a lot of childbirth tips. Pliny the Elder recommended putting the right foot of a hyena on a pregnant woman to help with delivery. The left foot could cause death.
It's gotta be
Obviously,
the
not
right foot.
something you want to do. For thick, lustrous hair, apply the urine of a young ass. Now,
That's a
he was
donkey,
talking about
right?
donkeys.
Yeah, of course.
And finally, for a toothache, we've all had toothaches, using the ashes of the head of a dog that has died in a state of madness.
It's gotta be a
Madness,
crazy
kind of
dog.
rabies.
Okay.
The head, however, must be burnt without the flesh, and the ashes injected into the olive cypress into the ear of the side effect.
It's got to be cypress oil.
So why are we discussing Pliny the Elder? Because let me tell you, the length and breadth of crazy quackery tours is simply monumental. And I think as part of a good education, and our people are listening to this podcast, they want to be educated. Every single time, pretty much every time on our wonderful podcast, you are going to hear about quackery because you know what? Quackery is fun.
There's a lot to go around.
A lot.
All right, Zorba. Now it's time to go behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain, because you want to know what's behind the information, stuff that's going on, so you can figure it out. It's stuff that's not obvious, because we got a lot of fake stuff out there.
Is that a Wizard of Oz reference?
That's a Wizard of the Oz reference. That's a Wizard of the reference. So today we're going to talk about fake Viagra. Carl, have you heard of Viagra?
Sure. Of course.
Come on. Who has not heard of Viagra? Do you have any idea how much Viagra used to cost when it was name brand?
I have no idea. I've never looked into it.
$50 a pill.
Really?
$35 to $50 a pill.
Okay.
Or I used to say to my patients, $35 an orgasm. I mean, come on. That's what I used to say.
assuming a lot.
Well, that's assuming a lot. But But now Viagra is generic, so it's a different thing. And it used to be, back in the day, I would tell people to go to reputable pharmacies in Canada. We had Canadian pharmacies who had real Viagra, manufactured in Canada, much, much cheaper. It was like $2.50, $3 a tablet. We used to do it. Now you can go to a regular pharmacy. You can get 50 milligrams or 100 milligrams of Viagra for 50 cents. But if you go to the internet, it's even cheaper, and a lot of it is fake. Looks like a Viagra, smells like a Viagra. It doesn't really have a smell to it. Sounds like Viagra, but there's nothing in there. So the answer is, guys, if you are actually going to use Viagra and you're going to do it, go to your local pharmacy, go to goodrx.com, get a coupon for Viagra. It's about 50 cents each, and basically that's the way to go. Do not buy it on the internet because there are chances it's going to be fake. And that, my friends, is today's Behind the Curtain.
All right, Zorba. On the podcast, we want to talk about food. We want to keep talking about food.
You bet, all the time.
And you recently had a dinner party where you made
paella.
Ooh, that sounds
I love
good.
paella. I love paella. And so for years, I have perfected a paella recipe. And the thing about paella, and I've been to Spain. Have you ever been to Spain?
I have several times. I was just there a couple of years ago.
Wonderful.
It's one of my favorite places.
Spain, food, tapas, it all goes together. And paella, let me tell you about paella. When you make paella, generally, it's like guys around a barbecue, and then they all give you advice. That's part of it. It's like,
there's advice involved.
Advice is involved in paella. But the thing about paella is when you bring it out to the table, it's magnificent. So if none of you have ever made paella, you should consider doing it. We're going to put the paella recipe on our website, drzorba.org. That's drzorba.org. And let me tell you, paella, when done right, is really delicious. And paella, when done wrong, is also really delicious. Because
it's good either way.
Just like when you barbecue, it's better when it's delicious. But it's wonderful because it looks good, it tastes good. You can get a little bit of saffron. You don't have to use that much with saffron. And for mine, I put in sausages. I put in some seafood. I put in a wonderful broth. And if you ever thought about making paella, you should make it because it is so much fun. It looks so good, and it makes the party.
Now, at the party, what did your guests think of it?
Oh, they loved it? They loved it because what happens is I take it off the stove. They don't get a chance to see it. Sometimes I'll have them chop and do things, but I take it off the stove. I have tin foil on the top of it. I've got a paella pan. Got to get a paella pan. It's the only way to go. They're not that expensive. I bring it to the middle of the table, and I take off the tin foil, and every single time people go, wow.
It's quite a reveal, right?
It's quite a reveal. And part of having a good party is really having good placement, good food, but it's also the visual aspect of what you're looking at. And people dig in and they always say, oh my God, this is so good. And you know what? It really is good.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on our very first episode of this new podcast. How'd we do, Zorba?
We did fantastic.
Did we?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. Well, if you want to call the show with a healthy living question anytime, it's 608-492-9292.
And that's because we started in 1992 and going strong. Going strong.
I love it. Thanks for being here with us, and let's do it again, Zorba.
Stay well.